Hey guys, welcome to all review of Kamen Rider Saber Episode 1. As always, I'm your host, Frozen Stratos. Here with me today we have...
the Cinder Blaze.
And we have a very special guest to help us
Aerosol Volume 1. The bearer of all things alpaca-related, and sworn annoyer of Frozen Stratos.
Great, thank you so much! How long did it take for you to come up with that bit?
The last 30 seconds of the previous video that we recorded.
Fantastic. I'm so glad. Yeah, guys, we're here, and Saber's here, and it happened. It had a first episode. There's some good stuff. There was some really good stuff in this. Visuals were fantastic. We did not get a CGI abomination as a villain this time. There was some CGI used. I believe they were using like someone had said like Unreal Engine or something. For the graphics, but it looked all right. I'll be honest, and this is slightly a tangent, but I do still kind of like whenever they use motion capture stuff, because it's used pretty effectively. Here it was fine, but
I thought it looked better here than it did in the first episode of 01. Sure. But I also think they lit it better. So yeah, it kind of helped to mask some of the like very obvious CGI-ness.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I guess it is lighting it better, because they put him in shade for a lot of like that actual fight. So you just can't. Oh, it's blurry. You can't see it. Yeah, where are we landing character-wise, though? Because so far, I don't know if I'm there yet. Obviously, it's episode 1, but he seems just like a well-meaning dude, and he talked his exposition. That was kind of all we got.
Yeah. He's like alright. He hasn't done anything to really offend me so far, but he hasn't done anything to really like win me over or anything, you know? Like, yeah, read books to kids. Alright, that's cool.
No, I was immediately taken out of it. No kid is going to go to a bookshop and be like, wow, I want to be read to. Who does that anymore?
I don't know. He has a pretty sick train set. You know, like, I'm pretty sure they go just for that, and then he just kind of like drags them into like his little story book time and stuff, just so he can slack off from work. But
I mean, it's nice. Like, I did like the aspect of that where he basically is able to transport them into another world, because he likes the childlike joy you get out of sinking deep into a story. And I thought that was really the only like thing I could get at that wasn't just like, oh, he's doing good guy thing because he's good guy, and you know?
Yeah, he has to do that though, because behind him are a bunch of bookshelves with no books on them. So you have to immerse them in the fact that they're in a bookstore so they kind of believe where they are. Like, that was so dumb. Like, even the ending, I was not sure if they actually had books there. Like, I get it, they're probably expensive, but at least just like have fake books. You don't have to fill them up all the way to the brim.
Yeah. But yeah, he's pretty generic so far. Like, just kind of I want to protect people kind of thing, which annoyed me. At one point, it annoyed me. I was fine with him telling the kid that he'd protect him, because that was him comforting a kid in like a very distressing moment. It was another thing when he's watching his friend take pictures and go crazy, and in his narration in his head, he's like, I have to protect the dream that you have. And I'm like, you're not even a Kamen Rider yet. Why are you even saying this? That's not your job. You're just a bookstore owner.
He's not even a bookstore owner, there's no books.
Because I gotta wonder what part of that is like an innate thing or like a muscle memory situation where like, you know, as a kid in whatever world he had grown up in, that was what he was conditioned or, you know, believed was his birthright to be a protector, and that was just like an innate thing that he latched onto. We don't know, and I could just be pulling this out of my ass. This could lead nowhere, and he
You
just sort
can't
of
just make up shit to defend him. That just came out of
Yeah,
nowhere.
no,
That was
I, like,
bold.
hey, I'm just trying to cover my ass. If it does end up happening, then I don't know, because they like even the blue guy exposited out of nowhere. He walks in and is like, "Oh yes, the swordsman will unveil the sword something something when he appears or whatever, when danger appears." I don't know that
Yeah.
he was only really great at the end.
Yeah. I felt like the amount of exposition in this episode was a little bit too much, especially the way they did it. Like people just like come in randomly and just start saying random crap. It would cut to like the villains and just start saying random crap. You could just completely taken that scene out of the thing and just like probably push it towards like the beginning scene for the next episode. Like it just didn't really help. Like we honestly don't know what was like really going on, and them saying stuff didn't really help. Like
Yeah.
I think when like this episode felt like an episode 5 or 6 rather than episode 1, because like for some reason everyone was already clued in on like what this series was about except the audience, and they just kind of like went along with it. Like Saber just kind of like picks up his sword like it's like a natural thing to do, and it felt so like this all this stuff is like supernatural and stuff, and he just kind of like is unfazed by it almost. And like I think like that whole scene was probably where like the episode like really started to fall apart for me. First, like with like the kid, I thought he overacted the crap out of that. That kid did not look distressed, and it was probably like that kid's fault and not our main writer's fault for this scene. But he's like, "I got you, kid. Like you don't have to cry about your mom. You know, like I'll protect you and stuff." This kid did not give a shit. Like that ain't his mom. He knows he's an actor. Like, why would he care? Like, I was like, "Oh, can't do that." And like,
I love how his comfort immediately was like, "Hey, kid, stay strong. Your mom is probably crying. Think about that while you stand over there. Don't be sad. Your mom is crying. Go away. Stay safe."
Oh man. And then like when he goes like a henshin and stuff, and like that sword is there, surrounded by like a pitiful amount of fire. Like Stratos walk over and pick it up. You don't have to overact. Like it was, you know when Arto falls down and he takes like a solid 5 minutes to get up. He was doing that. He was nowhere near the amount of like pain that Arto was in. And like even then, when Arto's in that pain, he overacts the crap out of it. So like I was just like, ugh, a little bit too much. Still hate your pants. Little bit too much. Calm down. And just let the story flow a little bit naturally. That's what I kind of like wanted from this episode.
Yeah, and to what you were saying before, a lot of the exposition was unnecessary. Yeah. Like Blue saying what he said about, "Oh yeah, someone drew the sword" or whatever. You can say that next episode. You don't have to now.
Yeah.
And are you absolutely about to request him like the book from him? Like, are you still not on board with a guy who apparently has this like faded tale about him? Are you not just gonna let him have it? You're just gonna, "Oh hey, give it up." Like, yeah. You have an idea of who this guy is, but I don't know.
I mean, right from the get-go with the exposition, like when his editor came into the shop, she was just going down the list of like, this is what your name is, this is what your job is, this is the book that you wrote, you run a bookshop. She's like telling him this stuff about him. Like, there's so many better ways to convey all of this have her say his name. She already asked for a manuscript, so you can already kind of guess that he's a writer. Like, just they're in a bookshop currently. I realize it's a bookshop without books, but just let us pick this stuff up via context. You don't gotta explain it bit for bit.
Yeah, the only time I want that sort of context is in X8, where you better wish him to be like the best doctor in the damn world, and you better repeat that every single time you're on screen. Otherwise, I don't need to know that. Like, that was... I don't know. I felt like that character was like... I like that character enough that it didn't bother me that much. Because, like, she had like a good...
Nice.
Yeah, she had like a good energy to her that kind of like worked well with like the rest of the cast. Typically, a lot of the Kamen Rider, main characters are a little bland, a little bit, not like super energetic. Like Arto is like a little bit weird compared to like his predecessors and stuff. So it was kind of good to get that energy from somewhere. So I'll give her a little bit of a pass, but
sure.
Yeah, that was a little weird. What do you guys think about the villains? Because honestly, I didn't know why they were so weird to me at first, but then I looked back on the episode, and I think like the thing that was like triggering me was that they were like ambiguously Asian. Like I couldn't tell if they were white or not, which isn't like much of like a factor, but like it was like just a little like it made me like stop for a second. I was like, wait a minute.
Hold on. This does not fit my preconceived notion of what Asian people look like. This is off-putting.
I mean, like, and they're already kind of like dressed up in like villain attire, so they just look like a little weird.
You know what did look good though? The hands, the wooden hands. I thought that was great. I don't know why you didn't like that. That's one of my favorite aspects of the I don't know, the practical.
When the like things like writing the book.
Yeah.
For me, it immediately triggered the Mabushina like that from like Cure Major, and I hate the crap out of that. So initially that's what I was thinking about, but then when I saw like the full book and like it writing down what's happening, I was a bit more okay with it. Because I think like the over edginess of the villain's attire was also like a factor of why they looked weird. So when they kind of like have that and like the freaking dark puppet, hand, I was just like, this is a bit much. You guys are in a coffee shop, you know that, right? Like, chill your beans. You're not in like a dank ass lab like Faust was, like. So yeah, that was that.
Yeah. Well, okay. I know we probably have a few more points, but we have a lot of comments, so I think we'll probably be able to cover anything we'd want to say through the comments. Is there 8?
Oh,
there are 8 comments. Some of which are like, "Where do you watch this?" All right. First one comes from Mr. Newmind, who says, "Do you think this Kamen Rider is an isekai Kamen Rider?" What does that mean?
Not until he gets hit by a truck. It's like isekai is like when they're transported to another world or something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was hit by a truck, and now I've been reborn as a Kamen Rider.
Yeah.
This guy was hit by a book.
But it does seem to imply that he may have been from a different world.
Mm-hmm.
We know that the books like appear, giant books appear, and then like transport chunks of a city into different
realms. That was a
realms.
pretty neat effect.
It was fine, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Pretty solid.
Rajik Rasul says, "Oh yeah. Also, you finally made it into an episode. You commented on time. Good job, man." I like the opening and the ending song. Isekai, one of my favorite genre. I like the fight and the henshin. The secondary rider was funny. Who rides the lion indoors and the way he smiled creeps me. A rider sword that's new. Usually finisher starts with a kick, but this a fresh start. The old saying, the pen is mighty than a sword.
Almost. Yeah, Blue writing in on a line was the best part of the episode. I laughed so much.
You thought we were done with our CG budget? Nope. I'm wearing it right now.
All right. Double the Unknown says, Saber is interesting, I guess. Definitely feels a bit sillier. I wasn't expecting much since it is Ghost's Rider. Yeah. And the toys don't feel as cool as I originally thought they'd be. Hopefully, me coming in with low expectations mean the show will surprise me. Also, with the main three riders being red, blue, and yellow in that order, and there being an ending theme and dance, does anyone else feel like they're trying to make the series like Sentai? They even had the monster grow bigger this episode. And then there was a reply saying, oh, by the way, I've been getting busier, so I probably won't be able to comment as often as I do on these videos. I'll probably only leave comments on really important episodes from now on. Okay. But yeah, oh no, Sentai's dying. Why would they want to emulate that?
I was surprised that it grew big in the episode. I wasn't expecting that. I was like, wait a minute, wrong show. What are you doing?
But yeah, I mean, I thought it's better than like CGI blob that we sometimes get like episode 1, so I'm okay with it. And like, I think what they did this episode, and what they also did in Cure Major this week that we didn't get to talk about, was they got the scale down just right. Like when they were fighting in civilian mode, the weight of the battle still felt right. Like the way it was all composited together, or at least the speed with which the camera moved, it helped it blend together a lot better. So I thought it was great. What are you laughing at?
Can I read Andy L's comment?
Sure. Is he next?
No. Didn't finish Ghost, so don't have a comparison. But why the overacting, weirdo? He's like 60s grandpa trying to be cute with his 10-year-old grandson. Even the grandson feels annoyed by him. The first episode, overall, pretty average. Nothing too great, nothing too bad. As usual, a chosen one main character or main writer have some mystery backstory and a world building dump. But there are two things being the lowest point of the episode: May plus Blaze and the editing of the show. First, not going to say that they are both bad at acting in the first episode, but May has one overacting expression throughout the episode. Yeah, for Blade, I think he just got a really in-your-face script, some weird wordings, and my thought said, "Say it out loud" lines. Not his fault, but it looks silly as
a character.
As a character, the bigger problem is the editing. A lot of weird jump cuts, switching background. Even the fight scene had some weird edit, like up punch into a full, not so great CG cutting rocks, and how they try super hard to hide the transition of prop sword and the DX toys belt close up. It just makes the episode super messy and hard to follow. I read something about how they try to film it indoor in CG. The actors on outdoor set. Let's hope they figure something out in real life soon. Fix the editing.
Wait, they're filming indoors? I didn't know that.
CGing them outside? Oh man.
Why?
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, these are unprecedented times. Also,
really?
I don't think that this is like a pretty average episode. I feel like almost all Kamen Rider episode 1s are relatively decent. Like, I haven't watched one in recent memory that's been like this bad.
Oh, do we remember how Geo's was?
I don't care.
Feel like
those sound effects were. I love Geo sound effects. I don't care. I can just like hear all the noises in my head when I think of episode 1 of that.
Alex loves clocks. The next comment comes from Yuki Miyazaki, who says, the start of Kamen Rider Saber Volume 1, definitely interesting start, but I have to say it is not as good of a debut compared to 01, especially Toma. Immediately no swordsmanship, and we get way too much information at the episode, felt way too rushed, but I have to say, I like the more comical fantasy setting we're going to get with this series, hoping for a good ride. As for the character, I need to see them spent more time on it for the volume 2, as we will be introduced to Kamen Rider Blades. Overall, decent start, but that CGI is interesting. I think it's fine, guys. You guys are being too hard. It's Toku.
Yeah, the CG's never going to be like mind blowing.
Yeah.
It's always going to be a little bit noticeable, but
Yeah.
The
I
thing
think it's
is,
like a different aesthetic. Like, I think with 01, we had like the more futuristic stuff, and like this is going full fantasy. So like, yeah, it's gonna look a little bit cheesier, a little bit like, I think like the filters were really off-putting for people who just weren't like, used to seeing it before.
Yeah.
So like that was also like a minor gripe of mine, but I'm like willing to kind of like see like how they navigate through it, and like they might find a way that just works better for the show. Like that's something that can be better over time. If you have an issue with it now.
This is, I mean, we obviously haven't spent too much time with Saber, but like, if you are, perhaps recommending shows to someone and you show them like first episodes, probably wouldn't be the one to get them into Kamen Rider. She's maybe like a 01.
Yeah. Speaking of like the comedic fantasy elements and not wanting to use this as like an introductory point, we had a really weird like opening narrator character.
Oh yeah,
the guy with the green hair,
yeah,
mustache. I'm like, what is this?
Hello? Who
Okay.
are you?
So he could be either one of two things: God or the devil.
You're not God or my father or my boss.
Why? Why?
Yeah, I don't know. I like, unless he actually shows up, to me it's pretty innocuous, like something I could easily ignore. It was fine.
Yeah,
Like,
if he actually gets more screen time, I will be having an issue with it. And
Like,
I think like that starting off our episode definitely put us in a bad mood. Like straight up put like tinted glasses over everything. It's like, oh, this is gonna be crap. Just you wait. And we find everything that's bad of this episode because they decided to start it with this buffoon.
It's strange. It's like they didn't think the episode was good enough to hook people, so they were like, let's put something flashy and with a lot of colors in the front. It doesn't necessarily have to look good, just a lot of colors. All right, we'll have this guy do it. Put on a wig first. More color.
By the way,
More
all
color.
the books in his
Yeah, there you
background are green screen too. That's sewed up.
Did you know they actually filmed some books indoors and tried to put them in with CGI and green screen?
Oh my god.
We've got a new comment from Naruto Yellow Flash 1. Welcome to our comment section. Man, 2021 will be the year you will have an option for Super Sentai or Super Sentai, Kamen Rider Edition. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fair. People are bringing it up. I guess, I don't know. It doesn't feel that way just yet. This feels very Kamen Rider-y still. I mean, base level primary colors look good, so I can see why they chose them.
I mean, we've had so many color combinations prior to this. Like, now they decided to go with primary colors. Like, give them a break.
Yeah, I know. Like, do you expect them to make a new color?
And about the dance, I like them dancing. It's fun.
I like that they are dancing. I don't know that I like the dance. It's fine.
Oh no, the dance is terrible, and that's kind of why I like them to see them dancing.
Alex and I have been watching a lot of Twice and like other K-pop recently, so like we've been exposed. We've been blessed by too many good dances that this is like, oh, all right, if you wanna, you
like
can do this. I
they're
guess
overacting the dance too, and it's kind of funny to see.
You're right.
And not in a good way, like Blue does in the Cure Major ending. Like he puts so much effort in that dance that I just appreciate it. For this one, it just looks weird, but it's entertaining.
Mm-hmm. The music is good though, I will say. Hey, we got our final comment from Luis Vasquez. He says, "Where do you watch Kamen Rider Saber on time?" Anyways, guys, that's all our comments. Did you guys have anything else before we end off this episode?
No.
I still hate Saber's eyes. The suit? The eyes on the suit?
Oh,
here
on the
or
suit.
here? There are two pairs of eyes.
Oh, on the eyes, the normal
Oh,
eyes.
okay.
Once
The
he
real
sees-
eyes.
Yeah.
Hey, we're done with 01.
I hate the way they're breaking. What?
Why?
What?
Because
What?
I said realize.
Oh,
I
I hate the way that they're broken up. There's like a swoosh across the bottom. This was not meant to go this long, guys. I'm sorry.
No,
It's
no,
like
no,
a
because like
swoosh
I'm
along
looking
the
at it
bottom.
now too. Like it's like his eyes have like a mustache on them. Like that dude from like the intro.
Oh no! Don't say
Turns out
that.
he's the suit. But no,
Yeah.
it's like, so in his transformation he goes slash slash and then that becomes his eyes.
And then he
I don't
just
know how-
wears them? Like
I get why they look the way they do, but they look bad.
yeah. Like my name is like the Cinder Blaze and I still don't like that design. Like whatever. We'll get to it later.
Yeah, I think it's fine. So anyways, guys, that's it for us. If you like this episode, hit that like button and subscribe if you want to hear more from us each week. When you drink water, definitely press your cheek in to make the water flow down faster. I don't know why you're doing that.
I'm still in my mouth.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, tell us in the comments down below what you thought about our thoughts about your thoughts about this episode. And then also there are still links in the description down below to how you can help support the Black Lives Matter movement by donating money, signing petitions, whatever you do. As long as you do it, it absolutely helps. Guys, thanks for watching. Keep it.
Yep. See ya.
Guys, I had to CG in this book. It's like
Oh, I'm glad you're editing this episode. That means I don't have to.
Oh, you're talking to me. No.
You said you had to CG in the book. Looks like you're editing this.